Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies Man once again, and today we're going to be doing a comic book review. Today we're going to be looking at Middlewest Volume 1. This is written by Scotty Young and illustrated by Jorge Corona, or George Corona if you want to say it in English. And this is published by Image, as you guys can see right there. This is a mature series according to the rating at the back right there. And the genres here are basically just pure fantasy. I don't know really what else to call it because it doesn't really have any secondary genres, and I really don't know how to define the type of fantasy. I would say it's pretty low fantasy. Most people are not actually magical in any way, but there are a few of them that are, and they are the key players of this story. So yeah, in terms of adaptation, it does not have one, but I would like to see one made at some point. I don't know how long this series is, and if it's short, it could be a single season adaptation. It would work pretty well, because a lot of what happens in this book is mostly just traveling, so that can be condensed into an episode or two, and everything else can be expanded on as needed, right? So yeah, the premise here is that there's this boy, and he lives in a little town, and he works as a paper boy. He goes down to all of the houses on his bike, and he delivers the paper. And he lives with his abusive dad. And we don't know how abusive he is, but a lot of the things that we see point to him being pretty darn abusive, very horrible as an individual. And one day his dad gets so angry at him that he becomes a storm like that, right? And so he harms all of the village folk, and Abel, the main character, the boy, decides to run away. And so he's running away, and as he is about to leave, his dad actually ends up touching him with his storm powers, and that also causes Abel to develop similar situations around him to his dad's storm powers. And it all has to do with this curse mark that spreads across his body. So yeah, very good stuff. I thought it was really interesting. I quite liked it. I was not really sure at the beginning. When I first started the book, the first two issues didn't really work for me exactly. But by the end, I was really invested in the story. I was really interested in seeing how Abel deals with the situations ahead of him. So yeah, we have a pretty simple plot line here. The boy gets introduced, then we meet the dad, and he turns out to be an asshole. And then they have a fight after a few different situations occur. And then the dad becomes this storm demon thing, and Abel runs away. He gets touched by his dad through the chest, and that causes him to develop a curse mark on his chest that spreads out and is infecting him over time. Abel runs away with his buddy the fox, and eventually they end up running into this guy called Jeb, who is this old wizard character who lives in a junkyard, and he provides some aid. Afterwards, they realize that they really can't stay, and so they use some of the information that Jeb gave them to find someone else that might be able to help them. And so they run away again, and they go to a different place, chasing down this woman. I think her name was Magdalena or something like that. And he eventually arrives to the city she's in because she apparently is part of this roaming carnival thing. And he ends up living there for a while as she helps him. And then his sickness grows. And then by the end of the first book, we actually end up with a very interesting cliffhanger and a lot of things that could go wrong. So it was really good. I quite liked it. In terms of characters, we have Abel, who is just a normal boy. He lives in this little, what's it called, what are they called, mobile homes, and he lives with his dad there, and his dad is a pretty abusive guy, and Abel's basically sick of it. He's not very happy with his situation anymore, and it's been too much for him, so he decides to leave after he has that confrontation with his dad. Then we have Jeb, who is that old Gandalf character that lives in the junkyard, and we have Maggie, I don't know how to say her name, who is his sister, and also this Magdalena person that they were looking for. And she actually has magical powers the same way that Jeb does, and so she actually ends up being able to help Abel a little bit, and she takes him to her carnival, and it, you know, helps him kind of have a found family with this group. And the characters are pretty good. I quite like them. In terms of world building, we kind of don't really have any explanations. We kind of just learn on the go. We know that this place is called Middlewest. It seems to be a Midwest kind of equivalent, but there's a lot of magic around. There's just a lot of things that happen that really have no explanation, that kind of don't need an explanation, but would be interesting to have them explained. We have talking animals of some sort. Some of them talk, some of them don't. We have these people that are not necessarily human looking. We have this tattoo sickness curse mark thing that we learned that his dad and he both have. And it looks like a heart, so it's kind of interesting. I don't know if it has to do with like, what it is definitely tied to their negative emotions, but I don't know if it's some sort of curse mark that feeds on positive emotions and then expels the negative ones. I'm not really sure how it works. It's pretty interesting. And some generic magic with some fake language to channel it. And also there's this robot character, and he's like a C3PO type character, but I don't know why he exists. And the mechanic girl that you know, helps this robot also, I don't know how they tie into everything, because it seems to be the only anachronistic, like completely machine kind of thing, although it could be powered by magic, and that would make sense. They would be some sort of automaton, which is pretty cool. And yeah, in terms of the artwork, it's really good. It's a little bit funky, and it's very colorful, and I like it. It's very interesting. But it's good. I quite like it. I don't know. It's pretty enjoyable. And let's see. Let me see if I can find something else that looks nice. The creature design is pretty interesting. So, yeah. Other than that, there's no fan service, adult content of any kind. So there really isn't anything else to mention there. And in terms of a rating, it's a 4 out of 5. I actually really found it amazing and enjoyable. It was super good. It had a great cliffhanger ending, and I would definitely pick up the next volume. I actually went to my local used bookstore recently, and I could not find it there, so I probably will end up buying it, you know, at full price. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Middlewest. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.